It was the early morning hours of December 5th, 2017. Mark Polymeropoulos was in his room at the Marriott Hotel close to the U.S. Embassy in downtown Moscow when suddenly he started to feel very ill.
And I woke up with incredible vertigo. The room was spinning. I had tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears. I was nauseous. I felt like I was going to be sick.
Polymeropoulos, a 26-year CIA veteran and decorated covert agent, spent most of his career hunting down Islamic terrorists in the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. He'd been shot at, narrowly escaped rocket fire, and was often in the middle of many other extremely dangerous situations. But nothing, he says, compares to what he experienced that day in Moscow.
And I spent a lot of time in some really tough places in our war zones. This was the most terrifying experience of my life, basically because of the unknown, but something really, really bad happened to me that day.
In the months ahead, he would come to realize that he had suffered from a mysterious microwave radiation attack.
It's a weapon that is silent. There is very little kind of signature of it, but it's designed to incapacitate, not to kill. And it's a pretty insidious type of warfare that we see being used against our personnel.
The first reported microwave attack happening in Cuba in 2016, affecting some 24 American and Canadian diplomats. It has since come to be known as Havana Syndrome. Victims experience, among other symptoms, nausea, severe headaches, ear ringing, loss of balance, and insomnia. James Lin, one of the leading experts on the biological impact of microwave attacks, described to CBN News what happens when a pulse blast hits a person.
That microwave pulse will be able to produce a sound wave inside the head of a person. And that sound wave will start propagating inside the head and reverberates inside the head. If any tissue damage is going to happen, I believe will come from the reverberation of the sound wave that's been generated inside the brain tissue.
In the 5 years since that initial attack in Havana, Cuba, some 200 American diplomats, intelligence, and military officers across multiple continents have been hit by those mysterious symptoms. Gordon?
Well, George, I've got to ask, if these attacks are happening in Cuba and Russia, has it ever happened here in the U.S.?
Yes, in our nation's capital. Last year, White House officials who were working on the National Security Council were hit by these mysterious symptoms late last year. In fact, one White House official getting struck as he was walking into the gates of the White House.
Wow. Well, George, the CIA hasn't publicly said who's behind these attacks, although the retired agent you spoke with has some suspicions. What did he tell you? Yeah,
he puts the blame squarely on the Kremlin, on Vladimir Putin. Moscow has obviously said no, we have no involvement whatsoever, but the intelligence community continues to investigate.
Well, is the U.S. government doing anything to try to counteract these type of attacks?
Well, if they are, they haven't made it publicly. Williams Byrne, the CIA director, during his confirmation hearing earlier this year, said that he has tapped a veteran CIA agent who was responsible in tracking down Osama bin Laden. Well, he has put him on the case to find out who actually is involved in these attacks.
Does anyone ever recover from Havana Syndrome? Is recovery possible, or is the damage permanent?
Yeah, the CIA is keeping track of the 200+ diplomats around the country, around the world rather, that have suffered this. They're monitoring them. So far, these symptoms continue to linger. In the case of Polymeropoulos, he deals with severe headaches. In fact, during our interview, Gordon, he said there's a few window of opportunity during the day that I have the strength to do this, and he's still dealing with the effects 4 years later.
It just sort of boggles your mind. Who would come up with some kind of, I mean, this is diabolical.
Yeah.
It leaves no. Has any instrument been found that can produce this kind of microwave pulse?
Yeah, they go back to the early 80s, where the Chinese and the Russians have developed a this equipment, in essence, as Professor Lin told us, that you can assemble, very easy to assemble, very easy to transport in a vehicle, but it's out there in terms of what the CIA, in terms of what Western intelligence agencies are doing to counter it. We don't know publicly because that information has not been revealed.
All right. Well, George, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
You can always get the latest news and more by downloading the CBN News Channel app today. Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.